Good morning, everyone. This is Dave Wirt, the meteorologist in charge, out here at the National Weather Service in Blacksburg, Virginia. It's a little after 10 a.m. on Thursday, July 28th. This YouTube briefing will review the weather we're expecting later this afternoon into tonight, as well as the weather through the weekend into early next week. Looking at the radar map across the eastern part of the United States, we can see a large area of precipitation to the west. This area is associated with a frontal system and a series of weak weather disturbances that is moving northeast along the frontal boundary. You can see how this precipitation is training repetitively over the same area in portions of the Tennessee and Ohio Valley. And this area is likely to get quite a bit of rain through the rest of today, Thursday, into tonight, with most of that activity remaining west of the Blacksburg forecast area. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit of time. Farther east, out across much of Virginia and the adjacent states, we're currently precipitation free. There's quite a bit of sunshine, so we're expecting another day where temperatures will get well up into the 80s to near 90 in the mountains and well into the 90s across much of the Piedmont. That heat and humidity will result in another day where we'll have quite a bit of instability in the atmosphere, and similar to the past couple of days, we are expecting showers and thunderstorms to begin to develop over the area around or shortly after noon, and then become a little bit more prolific as the day progresses and heating increases. Unlike the past couple of days, however, the winds above the surface at about 8 to 10,000 feet are a little stronger. Therefore, we're expecting a little bit more organized activity in the form of thunderstorms and a greater severe weather threat. The Storm Prediction Center, matter of fact, has placed much of the Blacksburg forecast area in a slight risk, and areas that aren't in a slight risk are in a marginal risk. What does that mean? Generally, we'll expect by mid to late afternoon quite a bit of thunderstorm activity, with some of the stronger storms resulting in strong straight-line winds, localized damage, and perhaps some spotty power outages as well. We're not expecting a widespread severe weather event, certainly not a derecho. These will be more discrete storms and individualized, more isolated storms. But any area that does get a storm can experience some very strong winds and also some very heavy rain that may result in some localized flooding issues. So let's take a look at what is the flooding issue. This is from the Weather Prediction Center, and this is the area that they're highlighting predominantly for the greatest risk for excessive rain. What that means is enough rain over a large enough area that it could produce some flooding problems. And you can see the axis of that is mainly to the west, but just clipping the northwestern fringes of the Blacksburg area, mainly in southeastern West Virginia. Here is the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center for the next several days. You can see a swath of heavy rain in excess of about 2 inches, mainly to the west. Although once you get into the southeastern West Virginia areas, we're still looking at perhaps 1 to 2 inches of rain in the next several days. Most of that would fall in the first day, so that would be for later today into tonight. Farther south and east, due to the more isolated nature of the storms, we're not expecting copious amounts of rain, but still rain that will be localized and heavy and generalized in about a half inch to perhaps an inch overall. Looking at the weather page that we have, our homepage, weather.gov/Blacksburg, you can see that we do have flash flood watches up just to the west of our area, farther east into southeastern West Virginia, although there is that threat for heavy rain. The antecedent conditions, the ground conditions, aren't particularly moist right now, and the rivers and water levels are not yet high enough to warrant a concern for issuing a flood watch or flash flood watch at the present time. But if things change, obviously we will have to post those, and so we ask you to frequently come back to our home page to check out the latest watches and perhaps warnings that may be issued later today. So again, today is the highest severe weather threat and perhaps flooding threat that we'll see. Flooding will be the most possible in the western flanks of our area, specifically in southeastern West Virginia. Otherwise, just about all areas, especially along and north of Highway 460, may see another round of spotty, isolated to widely scattered severe weather today, especially mid-afternoon to early evening, where winds will be the primary threat. Hail will not be quite as high of a threat. Tornadoes will not be quite as high as a threat. We are expecting more severe weather today than we did yesterday. And then as we progress later into the week, into the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, this sultry, steamy air mass will remain over the area. And so anytime you have this degree of heat and humidity, you can get some strong winds and some of the stronger storms, but we're not expecting anything other than isolated severe for Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. So today will be the primary severe weather and flooding threat, although not particularly high, certainly not widespread, but high enough that we felt that this YouTube briefing would be warranted. So thank you for listening. Take a look at the briefing slides that will be attached to the email that will have this YouTube briefing, and have a good day.